Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. Great to be here today in the great city of Lawrence. My name is Diana DiZoglio. I humbly serve as one of your state senators here in the Merrimack Valley. And as somebody who was born and raised in this area, grew up in the cities of Lawrence and Methuen for the most part during my childhood. A lot of what we're going to discuss here today is extremely important to me, and I know that it's very important to residents of our communities locally here. Here today, joining with me are mayors from across our communities here in the Merrimack Valley and North Shore. We are joined by Mayor Cassandra Gove, Mayor Sean Reardon, Mayor Jim Ferrantini. We are joined by Health and Human Resources Director Martha Velez at our Council on Aging. We are obviously joined from our host today, Mayor Brian DePena, and also Mayor Neil Perry, and Mayor Sakari Chow is right across the street on his way and will be here shortly. We are joining here today to discuss a very important piece of legislation that has been held up on Beacon Hill, and it is the Economic Development and Tax Relief Bill, which includes $4.57 billion in investments in healthcare, housing, technology, tourism, and other sectors impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. The bill includes $965 million for health and human services programs, $610 million for environmental and climate resiliency initiatives, and $400 million for promoting the production of affordable housing, and $150 million for early education and care providers. Moreover, the legislation includes $501 million in tax relief toward lower and middle income families, including children, seniors, which you see behind me here. Martha's going to talk about some of the challenges we're facing here locally, and renters, and $510 million in one-time payments to middle income filers. $250 in direct relief payments, and those tax rebates everyone's been hearing about, would be sent in September of 2022 to single filing taxpayers who earned between $38,000 and $100,000. Now, many of you know I had pushed for under $38,000, those who make under $38,000 to also be included in that package. It was incredibly unfortunate that that was not the case, but we did have some victories here with at least those who earned between $38,000 and $100,000 in 2021 would receive those tax rebates of $250 for individuals, and $500 would be sent to married couples who earned between $38,000 and $150,000 in that same year. Our small businesses would receive relief through an investment of $100 million in the state's unemployment compensation fund, and the legislation would provide permanent tax relief as well, increasing state matching of the Earned Income Tax Credit, EITC, from 30% to 40% of the federal credit, which greatly helps our working families, not just here locally in the Merrimack Valley, but across our state. Increasing existing child and dependent tax credits from $180 to $310 per child or dependent, and eliminating the cap on the number of eligible children and dependents is also included in this important piece of legislation. And Representative, please feel free to come up and join us. Thank you so much for welcoming Representative Devers here today. Thank you for coming. The bill would also increase the rental deduction cap from $3,000 to $4,000 to support renters, increasing the senior circuit breaker tax credit cap from $1,170 to $2,340 to help senior citizens and those who care for them, increasing the Housing Development Incentive Program, HDIP, tax credit annual cap from $10 million to $30 million, which assists gateway cities like Lawrence, like Haverhill, like Methuen, like Lowell, which are all represented here today, in expanding the diversity of available housing and promoting neighborhood stabilization is also part of this important package, this economic development bill. Furthermore, this package would exempt estates valued below $2 million from the estate tax and eliminate the tax cliff by establishing a uniform credit of $99,600. And I have this information available for any reporters who are here today who might need this afterwards. I see some of you here shaking your heads yes. But here today, we're joined in standing here in solidarity to call for the legislature to come back into session to pass this important economic development and tax relief bill. Struggling families across our communities cannot afford to wait for the economic relief they need and they deserve. And we know that this was punted and pushed off till the last minute in the wee hours of the night in the state legislature, which should have never occurred. But the circumstances surrounding that do not have to be what the final say is regarding this piece of legislation. We can and should work together, the Senate and the House, to come back into session, to suspend the rules, to make sure that we pass this ever important piece of legislation where I just laid out all of the different opportunities that exist, not just for the Merrimack Valley, but for working families across the state. Now, I did this as a state senator here in the Merrimack Valley, representing, again, parts of the Merrimack Valley and North Shore, but here standing in solidarity with us are our local mayors, who are going to discuss the local impacts that this piece of legislation would have on their municipality from a financial perspective, but also on the working families in their communities. So first and foremost, I'd like to welcome our host. Please give a round of applause to el alcalde mío, Brian DePena. Thanks so much, Brian.
Thank you. I want to say thank you for being here, everyone. Especially to any mayor from another town. Welcome to the city of Lawrence, the immigrant city. And it's a great opportunity for say thank you, Senator DiZoglio. I think it's a great moment for not only for the city of Lawrence, for the rest town and city in the cross state. And it's time to work together because the whole benefits it's not only for the city of Lawrence, it's for any residents, for business, for continue to move the city forward. Yo quiero darles las gracias a cada uno de ustedes por estar aquí. Quiero darles las gracias también a cada uno de los alcaldes de otras ciudades que están aquí, a la delegación, representantes Marcos Evers. Esperamos que este proyecto se pueda mover adelante, que lo pongamos a trabajar juntos, porque esto no solamente va a beneficiar a la ciudad de Lawrence, sino a otras ciudades en todo el estado de Massachusetts. Y también va a beneficiar a los residentes, a nuestras personas de la segunda edad, personas que tienen muchísimas necesidades en nuestra comunidad. Así que, thank you and welcome again to the city of Lawrence. Dios le bendiga. God bless you, Senator DiZoglio. Continue to move forward.
Okay.
Thank you.
Would you like to say a couple of words? Thank you, Mayor. And now I'd like to introduce Mayor of Lowell, my good friend, Mayor Sakari Chow. Thanks for coming, Mayor.
Thank you, Senator. Buenos dias. I want to thank the Senator for inviting me to Lawrence. And when she said it's quite a drive come to Lawrence from Lowell, I said, no, it's not. It's only a couple minutes away. This is my other hometown. This is like the Twin Cities to Lowell. And I thank the Mayor Pena for welcoming everyone here today. Today is a very, very important day. This is the beginning to discuss of what's to come. And that is really fighting for the working class people. Lawrence and Lowell and many other gateway cities, we have many challenges, and that the working class, the working poor, the working middle class, we struggle every day to pay the bills. And every day, every week, we try to balance the checkbook. What money to use for the kids' lunches, what money to pay for the gas to go to work, what money to pay the bills in general. And with the increasing inflation, the gas prices, the food, and everything like this, you know, people are talking about the economic relief bill and how much going to go to per person, and $250 per person. And some people, they might say that's not going to do it. But you know something, many families, we have families of 4, 5, or 6, and to be able to put the food on the table for 1 week, for 1 month, that buys time. So it's very, very important that the legislators at Beacon Hill understand what the working class go through. We struggle with the bills with putting food on the table. And for the elderlies, that has a difference with medications, with going to doctor's visits, and families with young children, families with illness. You're talking about paying the copay at the doctor's visit. Every dollar that the money could go to the family now, not later, not next month, not next year. The money that go to the family now could do a real big help for the families. I got a text from a couple of people before I came, the different type of money that come from the economic relief bill, and there's about $6.9 million going to our city Lowell alone. And that go to different programs. It go to programs like Cambodia Town, the Lowell High School Development Project, go to many other social services agencies. So there's bigger money involved as well as part of this economic relief bill. I can go line item by line item. But the most important thing is if the legislators don't go back and meet as soon as possible, none of that matter, none of that line item, none of the earmark money wouldn't matter. So I want to thank the senator for really pushing the agenda, really pushing the issue to have all the legislators meet as soon as possible. After all, isn't that what we elected them for, to do the work, right? I'm a mayor of a city, and the mayor Pena and the mayors here, we're mayors of cities, and if the constituents, the ones that vote for us and the people who take care of, they demand a meeting. You know something? I'm there, right? And for them to be in Boston, to be in a beautiful state house, to go have a meeting and talk about what the people need, I think they should go meet as soon as possible. And again, I wish the senator the best of luck, and I am 100% in support of her, behind her. She has all the right potential, all the right character, all the right energy in place to make sure that this happens. Thank you, Senator.
And next, I believe on the agenda, did we have Mayor Jim Ferrantini from the city of Haverhill. Welcome, Mayor.
Thank you so much, Senator, and thank you, Mayor DePena, for hosting this. I'm here today to talk about the Economic Development Bill and why it's so critical to all of us. It's critical to Haverhill. It's going to provide enough money so that we can do two major projects in the city. $160 million downtown investment that can't happen without the Economic Development Bill. And a brand new industrial park, potentially with hundreds of new jobs that can't happen without the Economic Development Bill. It's relief, as the other mayors have pointed out, to our citizens. But I want to talk about the urgency. First time in my life people have been able to hear me. I want to talk about the urgency of this. All of us mayors belong to the Mass Mayors Association, the Mass Municipal Association. Many of us belong to the United States Conference of Mayors. We have a federal lobbyist, and they're all talking about the same thing. If we don't move quickly on the use of ARPA money, this money may be clawed back if the Republicans take control of Congress. There's a lot of talk about this. We cannot wait until January to expend these funds. We can't wait. We need these funds today to eliminate any chance of a clawback. So I'm proud today to join with my state senator and my friend Diana DiZoglio in asking for a new session of the legislature so that we can move quickly. I'm staying at the beach this week, and I told my staff, you are not to bother me under any circumstance. Absolutely nothing will get me away from the beach. I should have said nothing except Senator DiZoglio, because here I am, and I'm proud to be here. Thank you so much.
Oh, funny. And now I'd like to welcome, and actually I'll keep it at this height for Methuen Mayor Neil Perry.
Thank you. Thank you. Bienvenidos a la Ciudad de Lawrence. I'm thrilled to be here again, and thank you to Mayor DePena for hosting us. It's a privilege to be here, and thank you to our state senator. And, you know, you might be sitting there wondering, when you're fourth or fifth on the agenda, you're going to hear the same thing, not from me. I want to give a shout out to our state senator, who is a fearless advocate for her communities. We really appreciate everything she does for us, so give her a hand, please. So you don't need me to get up here and repeat what the other mayors have said, and we stand in solidarity like they said, but people are struggling and they need help. And the state revenues are at an all-time high. So we need our legislators to go back into session and talk about the money that's on the table here. The income tax relief for citizens who need it most, but not only that, for my city, I echo what Mayor Fiorentini said. There's over 3.5 million, including 2 million for our downtown area, another million for our youth center, for which the senator walked all the way across the state to raise money for, and which we truly appreciate. And then also another $500,000, $500,000, for Great Court State Park, which is in the city of Methuen, but it needs to be addressed. And this is the time to do it. So join me, reach out to all the legislators and demand, don't ask, demand that they go back into session and that they vote on this very important bill and provide some economic relief to the communities that need it most. Thank you very much, and thank you, Senator.
And now I'd like to call up to the podium Mayor Cassandra Gove of the city of Amesbury, the youngest woman mayor in the state of Massachusetts.
Thank you, Senator. I do hope that at this point the message is clear. I especially want to thank the Senator for her unwavering support and advocacy for our businesses. This is not the only bill that she's been behind that we all stood beside her for. And I think that it's clear this bill will reach every corner of the Commonwealth, every neighborhood in our communities, and that economic development looks different for all of us, but we have really important projects in this bill. For the city of Amesbury, we have $800,000 on the line. This would impact our small businesses in our downtown and the folks who want to access that space. We want to be open and accessible to people of all ages and abilities, and there is not a day that goes by that I don't hear from our businesses that they want to see an increase in foot traffic and that we need to improve the connectability or the connections throughout our community. And we're really excited to see this project in the bill, but I hope that our legislators approach their work with urgency, as you've heard, that we need action to be taken on this. And although we'd all like to see the pandemic put behind us, our communities are still feeling the impacts, whether that's at home or at work. And we need this money to help assist everybody in our communities. So we hope that they will take action as soon as possible.
And then regarding mayors, last but certainly not least, Mayor Sean Reardon of Newburyport, the other end of the district. Come on up, Sean.
Thank you, Senator. Again, I'm not going to, repeat everything that my mayors behind me spoke about, but I think at the bottom line of all of this is that this bill could really help people right now. And so that's why I think there should be urgency. There should be a path to get back a legislator in session to vote on this important bill. Certainly Newburyport has projects in there that would benefit from this, but I think at the end of the day, we need help now. People need help now. The people behind us need help now, and it's not just here, in the North Shore and the Merrimack Valley, but it's all over the state. So again, legislators, please consider this, move forward, get this done. As Mayor Perry just mentioned, revenues in the state have never been higher. We've got rainy day funds put away. We're in a perfect position to put these funds into action for people and help them in their everyday lives. So hopefully we can get that done. Thank you.
And I'd like to invite also up today Representative Marcos Devers to speak on behalf of his constituency. Thank you, Representative, for joining us today.
Gracias, Senadora Bonita. That means beautiful senator. We used to call her beautiful representative, then beautiful senator, and I hope she will be the beautiful auditor. Thank you, Senator DiZoglio, and thank you, Honorable Mayor Brian De Peña, for hosting this rally. That's the name used for this event. I'll be more than proud and honored to invite my fellow legislators to, just fall down, actually create the rule to go back and have another formal session. Our communities need more than ever this kind of help for economic development, to keep our strength, to keep us moving forward. As a legislator, as a state representative, Marcos Devers for the 16th Executive District, and I hope the rest of the Lawrence delegation join me and join Senator DiZoglio to go back to the State House and get the job done, We went overnight. I think in more than 30 years, I was out of my bed for 24 hours. And we worked very hard ending this session. But if we have to go back, I'll be happy to go back and then stay overnight, another 12 hours or so. So, Senator DiZoglio, leaders of our communities, distinguished honorable mayors, we are with you, I'm with you, and count on me. Senator, thank you very much for this great initiative, and I'm with you in solidarity. Thanks.
Thank you, Representative. And next up, we have, last but certainly not least, we have Martha Velez once again, who opened us up today, who is the director of the Council on Aging across the park here, and she's going to talk about the economic impact that this legislation would have on the seniors in our community. Welcome, Martha.
Thank you, everyone. Martha Velez, Director of Health and Human Services. I have the privilege of working for a great city, the city of immigrants, where everybody gets to start, work alongside our mayor, Mayor Brian DePena. And I think that in listening to all of this, I think the most important thing to take away, right, is that we have people that are living on fixed incomes that really I don't think I could ever live on. I can't imagine living on $1,000 a month and then figuring out how to pay my my rent or do medicine or get food. Which way do we go with our monies? I think the other thing, as Senator DiZoglio read this whole bill, I think one thing that was not touched upon is the fact that some of this money is going toward public health. We just went through a pandemic where most cities around the state of Massachusetts weren't prepared for. Public health has been cut in the previous years, and I think that this is an important part of what needs to happen. And my seniors had to walk away because the sun is too strong. Most of us like it, but you know, as you get in age, your skin is thinner, so we don't want anybody getting burnt. But I just want to say thank you for everybody that's here. I think that you're absolutely right, mayors and legislators. You need to call and say, as a resident, it is a no-brainer. Step up, open it up, and let's take a vote. Thank you.
So just to reiterate what everybody's just said, we need this economic development bill to pass. Working families cannot afford to wait for relief, especially during this time where gas prices are high, inflation is through the roof. Working families need relief, and they need it now. And we are calling on the legislature to suspend the rules and come back into session to work together to get this bill done for all working families in Massachusetts, regardless of our family background, bank balance, or zip code, so we can see some economic relief across the board. Thanks so much for attending, folks, and I'll open it up to questions if anyone has any who's here today. And if not, then we can break. But if you have a question, please feel free to raise your hand. Yes. Thank you. So just to reiterate, the gentleman speaking was referring to some efforts that we did in the legislature to bring some equity to the Mass Save program, which we've talked about. We have some research locally here that's happened that has demonstrated that some of the funds coming from Mass Save or going into Mass Save are funds that are taken out of lower income households and lower income communities and then disproportionately spent in wealthier, more affluent communities. And we need equity. So we did pass some legislation regarding that. And thank you for your work on that study. Any questions? Okay, thank you so much, everybody, for coming. Have a great day, and we will stick around for questions for a couple of minutes for anyone who's interested. Thanks so much, everybody who's watching.